Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. It is time for the Abnormal Barders. As you can see here, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4 Abnormal Barders to chase after today. They will be marketable in about 3 hours' time. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to figure out some prices that we might want to offer for each and every single one of these skins. And then, of course, when they appear, we're going to do our Barders as fast as we can. And hopefully we'll be able to buy these at a fairly cheaper price so that we can sell them for a very nice bit of profit down the line. Now, of course, we also have some regular skins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. They're not going to be marketable until the Rust door rotates tomorrow, but we can still go ahead and figure out some prices to offer for each and every single one of these skins. And yeah, that's basically it. We'll also talk about what we could expect for tomorrow, and then yeah, that's it. Buy orders will happen, we'll do them, we'll look at the barter support afterwards, and then we'll talk about whether or not it might be a good idea to jump in and buy into these skins. So let's get started. Let's start talking about all of the abnormal skins. So, to my surprise this week, not a single skin here has over 15,000 sales, based on what SEMM can see. Let's not forget, some accounts out there are, of course, private, and maybe some people like to buy 1,000 worth of these skins, and SEMM cannot track it. But based on what SEMM, the website right in front of you, based on what it can see, not a single skin here has sold over 15,000 sales. And that is fairly ridiculous. However, this actually might turn out to be very, very good for us investors. Why? Well, think of it like this. If hardly any of them were bought, if they ever happen to spike in demand, well, all the better for it to rise up in price. And there are some very notable bits of information that have appeared fairly recently in which some skins are looking very appealing right now. But let's talk about the doors. So first up, we have the Modern Military door, and to my surprise, this is the best-selling skin this week. I'm actually fairly surprised by this. Also surprised to see the other Sheepman doors also the second highest selling. But anyway, the main thing that we were wanting to know about this week was Robstar going to be making another Modern Military deployable skin this week? I can confirm he has not done that. Whilst we do potentially have Modern Military Burlap potentially on the way, maybe, possibly, we did not see another deployable. And that's what I mainly think would potentially have the best chances in helping out the likes of this door. So, a little bit awkward, however, it still has a very nice, well-established collection behind it. Loads of clothing and armour, plenty of weapons. It's still looking pretty good. Also, thank you very much for the subscription, Glassholio. Much appreciated, sir. 11 months. What a guy. Thank you very much. So, yeah. We've got plenty of skins here, we've got tools, we very likely will be seeing even more skins for this collection, so things are still looking pretty good for it. However, we also have to be very, 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 very cautious about Sheepman door skins. Why? We'll go take a look at all the ones that came out this year. Do you see any positivity there? No? Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. So, fairly recently, we have had quite a lot of Sheepman doors sell at $2.49. The Adobe Decorative door, the Capybara door, the Infernal door, the Sunken door. Yeah, they're not doing very well at the moment. No, they're not. It's unfortunate, but, yeah, a little bit awkward. However, you could probably respect the likes that the Capybara door and the Adobe Decorative door are holding up a little bit better. Well, they do have other skins in their collections. Adobe Decorative door is a little bit weird. But the only skin that is retaining its value and holding up is the Abyss Metal door. And this is part of a well-established deployable collection. So what I'm saying is, I do expect the likes of both of these doors to struggle, unfortunately. I get the feeling that they're going to be going below their Rust door price, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. But how far? How low? That's the real question. So, this is awkward. First of all, let's just respect that this is a pretty cool looking door. Glow in the dark looks pretty cool. It's not stupid in the sense of it's not super colourful, it's not in your face. It's a very grounded yet cool looking design. Robstar, you definitely put out some very nice pieces of work. So, I do get the feeling that in the long term, this actually might turn out very nicely. I think it will potentially be doing very good. Also, we should also make the point that it only did 15,000 sales. What about all the Sheepman doors that came out last year? How are they looking at the moment? Let's just quickly take a look at that, because it might not be the best. We should point that out. Also, Nowsy, thank you very much for your subscription as well. Much appreciated, sir. Some of them are actually doing quite all right. It's not the best, but they're still holding up. They're still doing pretty cool. So maybe this is something that's going to work out a whole lot better in the long term. Maybe. So, yeah. Sheet door and armoured wall. Shh. We're not going to criticize the modelling, all right? Okay. Anyway, so I think with the buy order here, if I want to play extra safe, I'm probably just going to stick with doing a $1 buy order. However, in terms of, trying to, actually actively try and get some, I'm probably going to put down a $1.50 buy order. Now, if you want to be a bit more aggressive, offer maybe $1.60, $70, $80, by all means, it's up to you. But, as you know, pretty much all Ruskin prices are down at the moment. We are currently going through the autumn/fall seasonal dip. The player count isn't exactly doing super great. There's a lot less people playing at the moment. This is routine. It is expected. We've talked about this many, many times over the past couple of weeks. So basically, even though it seems to look quite all right and whatnot, and there is still potentially some positive things in the future, I still think it's going to be going down. So yeah, it's probably going to go below $2 at some point, but it could easily go back up. Who knows? But based on, did we see any more modern military deployable skins being made? It didn't happen. So awkward. So yeah, it is what it is. $1 to $1.50. If you want to offer more and you potentially want to be more successful in actually buying some of these, consider offering more. But do be wary. If you're the highest buy order, people might dump on you. So you got to be careful. Right, moving on. UAP pilot door. So this is basically in the exact same position, but okay, this is weird. Because number one, this is probably one of the goofiest looking sheepman of doors that we're ever going to get. It's an alien. It glows in the dark, and he looks really high. I can't do the face, but yeah, that's kind of goofy. And goofy does kind of work out quite alright in the future. I get okay, so do you know how we kind of questioned the pug dog, the pug furnace? And I said, look, it sold hardly anything, but I still think it's going to work out quite all right in the future because loads of people who return to play the game around December, January time will look at that and think, like that. They'll probably think it's really funny, really goofy. The fact that it's only done about 13,000 sales at the moment, well, almost 14,000, is still really low in the grand scheme of things. In fact, you know what we haven't done? We haven't shown you all the sheepman doors based on estimated total supply. So let's just go do that. And you can kind of get a grasp on the fact that these are there's a lot more skins out there with way more quantity. So potentially, as time goes on, maybe it does work out quite all right for this. It's awkward, right? Take me to your lemur. Yeah, okay, So, I think I'm probably going to say the exact same thing, $1 to $1.50, because I can respect that a lot of people will look at that and like it and want to use it as time goes on. With low sales, all the better for it. But I am still cautious. I am still a fair bit worried. Now, this is kind of a collection. There was a rock skin made. We did not see a UAP alien themed skin this week. In fact, we saw something a whole lot more interesting. Yes, we saw the version 2 of Abyss Tier 2. That's looking pretty interesting. But yeah, no extra alien skin. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. We shall see. Like, are people actively asking them, hey, make more? Maybe a garage door or something? Maybe some boxes, storages? Who knows? But leave it for now. We're going to play it safe. $1 to $1.50. Sounds good? Perfect. Sand Rhino. Right, things are looking very interesting for this, so sit back and relax. We have quite a significant amount to talk about. So, Mr. Himmick and Sapesh immediately made a continuation. We have Hoodie and Pants on the workshop. Guys, okay, so, as we have pointed out, this is very likely going to be seen as a Desert Raiders budget set. But with, like, sagging titties and flappy, groin. Yeah. Oh, and a saggy ass. Yeah. Hell yeah. So, anyway. This is kind of goofy. Not intended. But the main point is Desert Raiders, as a whole, is still pretty pricey. And when we hit around January time, it's very likely to go up in price as well. Tier 3 currently selling at $55. The hood in the pants currently selling at about $18. Yeah, that's kind of pricey for a lot of people. Well, you know, this only costs $5. And I do think it's going to get quite a lot of people wanting to buy that instead, which would, you know, that would be pretty good demand. And with the amount of sales that we currently have, there's hardly any. There's hardly any. In fact, go back here again. How many Desert Raiders Tier 3 armor do we have? I want to see the difference. So Desert Raiders, okay, so that had 18,000 almost for the face mask and just over 18,000 for the chestplate there. That came out 2 years ago, and that has more quantity than the budget version. So now you can understand, if we were to see an increase in demand based on, oh, I don't know, if a new core piece gets accepted, that's going to go up in price pretty significantly. Things are looking pretty interesting. And I'm thinking about doing a very strong buy order in this, because by default, I can see that just steadily increasing in price. I don't know if we're going to see many other, like, budget Desert Raiders options becoming available. But what we have right in front of us there is a whole lot more affordable. There's not that much, you know, in circulation. I'm already questioning whether I want to buy some. That's the position I'm in. I'm thinking about maybe doing like okay, so buy orders. $1.50 to $2. If you want to be more aggressive, by all means go for it. But remember, we're still trying to buy these and still make a profit. So yeah, if you just kind of like, you know what, instead of buying these, I could just maybe do like a $2.30 buy order and try and get each and every single piece for like 19 cents cheaper. That's up to you. But if you're kind of like wanting to just kind of pick some up, like $1.50 to $2 is what I'm going to do. But I get the feeling when we look at these, when the buy orders have happened, when we see the buy order support afterwards, they are very likely to have buy orders going all the way up to $2.49. And I kind of wouldn't be surprised. And that's basically going to be like the assurance that, yep, it's probably good to go ahead and buy these now. So yeah, diaper right. No, Urban, you ruined it. No. So, from what I can see here, the potential positives, like at the moment, out of all the possible hoodie and pants that potentially could be picked, what is the only other option? That would be ghillie suit. And ghillie suit jacket at the moment is actually doing very nice. This is a good questionable thing. If we fail to see the ghillie suit hoodie and pants being accepted, will this go down in price? Because right now that's selling for $7. But the main point I'm trying to get across is we recently saw the upload of the ghillie hoodie and pants. So that is what the Sand Rhino is going to compete with. Will this potentially be accepted tomorrow? Or will this be picked as an early pick? Or will this get accepted tomorrow and then this is accepted next week or the week after? Who knows? All right? But by default, this very likely could potentially be accepted. But maybe with the sheer lack of sales, maybe Face Punch isn't super enthusiastic. Who knows? We could talk and talk and talk and talk. But by default, still, this is $5. Desert Raiders Tier 3 is $55. I'm thinking a lot of people will be wanting these. Even if we don't see hoodie and pants and Tier 2 being accepted, it still looks perfectly viable and it's a much more affordable option. So, have at it. Yeah, that's it. That's looking very, very good. Let's see how it turns out. We're probably going to have like 3,000 plus sales instantly. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, that was all of the abnormal barter talk. Let's talk about all of these regular skins. So these skins will not become marketable until the Rustore rotates tomorrow. All right. Starting off with the likes of the high quality metal gloves. So on the horizon, could we potentially see some more high quality metal clothing and armor skins? Wouldn't be surprised by that. Diaz, for some strange reason though, if we just quickly go to the workshop and look at his most recent skins, yeah, he's just not producing anything at the moment. I'm not sure if he worked with someone or he just decided to take a break. Who knows? But I'm still assuming we're going to gradually eventually see more of the high quality clothing and armor. So hoodie pants, Tier 2, who knows? But based on what we can see here, the gloves didn't even get close to the likes of the chest plate sales and the face mask sales. So by default, these are looking perfectly fine. As we already said like last week, roadside glove skins tend to hold their value quite nicely. They tend to do quite alright. Like, look at the hard suit roadside gloves at the moment. We never got that tier 2 armor, but it's still up 23%. So at the very least, I'm looking at this and thinking, you know what? It could still be at a point where it's like, I could buy these, and then if I ever were to sell them, I'd just basically get my money back. Look at the Pirate Road sunglass, for example. 54,000 plus sales. You could still sell it right now and get your money back. So, yeah, things are looking interesting. If we do potentially see continuations appear, all the better for this. And, of course, the tier 3 armor. So, based on that, I'm going to probably do maybe like 60 cents to 80 cents. Maybe a little bit. And you know what? 70 cents to 85 cents. This, at least, will be retaining its value. If you bought it at 85 cents, you could sell your money. You could sell them and make a little bit of profit. Yeah, 70 cents to 85 cents is what I'd suggest. If you want to go a little bit more aggressive, up to you. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more high-quality metal clothing and armor down the line. Okay, cool. Banana collection. Right, this is an odd one. Okay, Banana Tier 2, it has barely done 10,000 sales. Now, when I look at this whole week's store, right, I made this point earlier, honestly, if this came out like in the middle of June or January time, I honestly think you probably see all of these skins maybe have about 20,000 sales at the very least. But what we see here is the Banana Tier 2 with only about 10,000 sales. Now, let's remember, how successful has the Banana Collection been this year? Very successful! Very successful! It's not too hard to notice that we've been getting a lot of skins accepted. I am very sure Mr. Debsky and Mr. PYH very likely will be putting out some hoodie and pants and tier 3 armor at some point. I think we might potentially see it being accepted. I mean, Banana's been quite successful. All the better for this, because with the amount of sales that we've currently had, what will this behave like over the course of, from now on? If you can understand me. Like, from here on now, as time goes on, how many other yellow sets are we going to have? Now, the main point that someone brought up earlier, that was Micro. Have you seen the state of Copper Collection? So I went and took a look at this. Copper Collection is another set that's yellow. It's like greeny, pea green yellow. Yeah, the tier 2 armor here is actually very cheap. Selling less than their store price. Selling at a cheaper price. Well, actually, no. Selling for a price... Well, these two pieces are selling for a cheaper price compared to Banana, but not the kilt. Kilt's a bit more. But yeah, maybe people prefer to use the copper set. Yeah. How many people even like yellow? How many people like bananas? You should eat bananas. They're good for you. Right. I might actually buy some. And if anything, it would be the kilt. I get the feeling the kilt, as time goes on, it might get to a point where you could just still sell it to get your money back or something. The sales are ridiculously low. In fact, why don't we take a look at all the kilts that came out this year and just kind of compare which one had the lowest sales overall. So, wow, we have hardly received any tier 2 armor this year. 7 so far this year. Last year we had 14. What did we have the year before? 14. What is going on this year? We've hardly seen that much clothing and armor this year, do you reckon? I mean, we've seen more primitive skins, so we could accept that. But anyway, looking at all of these, Banana's got less than Renegade Kilt. Well, I mean, it still has a few more days, so yeah, this very likely will be beating the Renegade Kilt, but it's going to barely beat the Renegade Kilt. And that kilt, by the way, actually no, the kilt didn't come with vest and coffee can. That is awkward. So, all right, buy it. It might break even. Well, Meta, if it's worth the risk, because like I said, we still do anticipate the arrival of tier 3 armor and hoodie and pants, and if that does get accepted, all the better for this to rise up in price. I know when you write it out that way, it sounds silly. But if we do not see any other piece of the clothing and armor being accepted, by default, I still think it will be retaining its value. But what we care more about is making those profits. So I'm looking at this. I care more about the kilt, of course. In the grand scheme of things, the kilt's going to be the most desirable because, of course, you pair it with both the tier 3 and the tier 2 armor. When I'm looking at this with a buy order, I'm thinking I might do like 80 cents to 90 cents. And I look at these two, I'm probably going to do 70 cents to 80 cents. All right. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. But I am probably going to buy some. I think that is what I'm going to do. All right. Hedge uses Microsoft Edge. I use 3 different browsers so I can have all of my accounts active because I have several accounts. So I use Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. And then we've got the Wild Boar AR, 70 cents, 90 cents. We've had far too many AKs this year, and we very likely will be beating last year's amount. And if someone truly wanted an AK-47, they very likely would have bought one from the previous weeks, most notably the Chameleon AR, which is doing very nicely at the moment, or the Pirate AR, which is holding up quite all right at the moment, and then Knights Templar, which seems to have recovered from the... oh, wow, that's actually recovered quite a bit. Did someone buy all the stock? Hold on a second. This was like $1. Oh, okay, now it's kind of back. Okay, wait, what? Huh. Oh, someone did do a buyout. All right. Okay, it looks like it was only 9, but I guess that was a significant chunk. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, 70 cents, 90 cents, it's very likely going to go down to about $1. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, yeah, Microsoft Hedge, shut up. Right then, so, Hedge, can you use the different profile, Chrome, blah, 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 well. Alright, so, things that we could potentially expect for tomorrow. Well, I'm sure you've seen all the newest skins that have been submitted. I'm sure you've watched the recent Rust Workshop skin checks. But like we just said... we did see some fairly interesting clothing and armor skins on the horizon. So Sand Rhino, could that potentially be picked as an early pick? Randomly, we saw another training skin being made. Training roadside gloves. We haven't had a training skin in like 2.5 years. Abyss Tier 2. So when we didn't see Abyss Tier 2 being accepted last week, when we saw this being accepted instead, loads of people dumped their Abyss Tier 3 armor. The very second that this has appeared, people jump back in and bought out the Tier 3 stock again. It's quite funny. So on the horizon, we're looking out for this now. That's going to be pretty cool. Also, what do we see today? We also have seen the first instance of the Brutalist skin. This is the high-quality metal building skin. Get a good look at that. It's not much to look at, is it? Yeah, I'm still thinking the textures aren't fully done. Please tell me that's the case, because that kind of looks a bit dull. Yeah. I'm still thinking, look, that's just the first iteration that's been put on staging. Surely we're going to get much better textures and whatnot over the course of the rest of this month. And this, of course, will be most likely available for the beginning of October. That sounded weird. The beginning of October. So, yeah, October Force Wipe, new building skin on horizon. So keep an eye on all of this. And, please consider watching the Rust Workshop skin checks. We've looked at many interesting continuations. Please don't forget that I also have chapters for the continuations, so you can skip ahead to the specific bits that you're interested in. And, yeah, have you seen what's been going on with the Unity situation? They came up with a really stupid pricing scheme, and Gary was very, very, very upset. Gary Newman, the guy that owns Face Punch. So he had a bit of a rant. Not a rant, really, but he did a very serious write-up. Let's just quickly grab this. Where is it? I'm just going to quickly bring this up to you, because his point was, like, very straightforward. Here we are, yes. Yes. But in passing, he did say... let's not make this mistake again. Rust 2 definitely won't be a Unity game. Rust 2? Rust 2? Well, I get the feeling he just kind of just said it as a in a metaphorical way. If they ever were to make Rust 2, they're definitely not going to be using the Unity engine. Yeah, Rust 2? Rust 2? Yeah. No. Don't assume this is an announcement. It's just some words in passing. But if it were to happen, Unreal Engine... Source 2, pretty cool, but they're currently making Sandbox, so I wouldn't assume anything's currently being made. Twitter feedback is overwhelmingly negative on the Brutalist previews. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but like I said, I'm still assuming this was like... you know what grey boxing and white boxing is, Micro, for example? Like... in terms of level design, the very first instance that you're going to test on is simply just going to be white or grey surfaces. No texture or anything. They just want to test out how a level might be played out, and then gradually they add more details and whatnot. They add the much more better textures for the environment and whatnot. So I'm still under the assumption that we're still going to see a better version of this with more interesting textures. Because if that's what it is, oh dear, yeah. Google Brutalist building design on Google. All right, so Brutalist building design. Please don't tell me this is quite... oh, wow, that's weird. Huh. Okay. Brutalist architecture. I mean, it don't look like that. That's the thing, though. I can see how it's still, like, greyish, but it don't stick out weirdly like that and whatnot. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I'm sorry, but what potentially could have worked as an idea doesn't seem to be getting the best of feedback. People aren't happy. People don't like it. And if it doesn't sell well, oh God. I don't know. Maybe grey is the only common thing. What would work for stone? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a lot of people are going to mistake high quality metal for stone now, which I guess people probably would like. I mean, from a distance, when you get up close, you're going to be like, oh no, it's high quality metal. Oh, damn. As if you're actually, covering your entire base in high quality metal. But anyway, awkward, very awkward. I still expect it to get updated and look a whole lot more nicer down the line. So, also, weapon racks. Micro, you pointed this out. When you look at this week's Rust store, are you surprised to know that the weapon racks are basically one of the top selling, or rather, in terms of revenue, because that's what top selling is figured out here, weapon racks did very, very well. So they got debuted. Quite a lot of people did buy them. And yeah, third best selling this week, behind the likes of the shipping container building DLC and the brick building DLC. So, I guess people still like shipping container and brick. Yeah. But down the line, especially around maybe post-Christmas time, maybe this gets bought out a whole lot more. Remember, loads of people will be returning, and maybe that'll be new to them. So, just a nice little thing to show off. So yeah, for every single Rust store on SCMM, you can look at this and it'll tell you like what's the top selling skins of the week and how it worked out over the course of like a few days. So yep, cool, very nice. Thought we'd just show you that off to you. And yeah, why don't we go ahead and skip ahead to the actual builders. So with that, let's proceed. Right, here we go then. Do you reckon some of these skins are going to have an instant, like, 2,000 barders placed down on them? Because, that's perfectly legitimate. That's definitely put down by a real human being. So, let's find out. Here we go, chat. Any second now. Steam has been slow today, so we must reiterate that. Okay, at your own pace. Oh, there we are. Perfecto. Lovely. And then over to here. Okay, over here, here. Okay, come on, Ah. 900. Aha. Right, okay, so I guess that's as fast as we're going to be, and what we'll do is we'll skip ahead and look at the barter support and question if it's a good idea to jump in and actually buy some of these skins. Right, gentlemen, it's been almost 15 minutes now, and as you can see, some prices are already being noticed by SCMM, so let's go take a look at the abnormal skins and look at the support they have. And you might notice that the Sand Rhino face mask is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, so... At the moment, based on what we can see, with 1,700 requests to buy, this is looking to be pretty strong. It's got barders going way above $1, comfortably all the way up to $2, and barders pushing all the way up to about $2.30. So, this is a $2.49 skin. If you really wanted to buy this as of now, it looks perfectly fine to do so. We talked about all the positives earlier. Hoodie pants could potentially be appearing at any point, and also this is perfect. Like this is the perfect budget replacement for Desert Raiders, which cost 10 times more. So I'm thinking a lot of people are going to notice that. A lot of people are going to realize that. A lot of people will be buying this by default. Like, even if we don't get hoodie and pants and tier 2 armor, I still see it being utilized in the future for budget Desert Raiders armor. Now, is it going to be perfectly fine? Well, you know, some people might get a little bit, I don't know. Maybe some people instantly assume everything's doomed if we don't instantly see the hoodie and pants. Please don't overreact. Like, loads of people overreacted last week when the Abyss Tier 2 wasn't accepted. And literally, just a few days later, Abyss Tier 2 version 2 was submitted to the workshop. And all those people look silly now because they dumped all of their stock, their Tier 3 stock, at a very cheap price. And people have already reinvested into Tier 3 armor. So, with what we see here, yes, this looks perfectly fine to buy. I can't guarantee it's going to be perfectly fine in the short term, but of course we do have the likes of maybe the hoodie and pants potentially being accepted in a future Rust store, maybe within this month. So, just pray. Pray a lot. Hope everything works out. And then, yeah, we shall see what happens. So this is looking very nice. And, of course, the chest plate is equally as so. So, yeah, buy orders pretty much in the exact same way. It's looking perfectly fine. Now, if you really want to push it, maybe you just want to do, like, maybe a $2.40 buy order. You very likely could be buying these for, like, 9 cents cheaper. But, yeah, honestly, you could just go ahead and buy them. It's up to you. You could just put down a very strong buy order. Like, would 35 listings really last for a long time? Not really. So you could just probably wedge yourself at $2.30, probably buy a decent amount of them, maybe, possibly. Choice is yours. It depends if you've got, you know, if you're on a budget or not. But yeah, if you've got the money to spend, Sand Rhino is looking pretty appealing at the moment. So all the better to it. Modern military door. It doesn't have any buy orders above $1.20. I mean $1.24 to be precise, but yeah, that doesn't look like it's going to retain its value. Also, funnily enough, it already has a listing below the price it's currently selling for. Well then, yeah. Yeah. Look how that turned out. Awkward. Very awkward. So, I know. It's sheet metal doors. But what about this guy? He's actually looking a whole lot better. Yeah. He's got a few buy orders above $1.24. So, both the sheet metal doors appear to be in the exact same position, but this one happens to have one of those magical super fast buy orders with over 2,000 quantity right there. The other one doesn't. So, yeah, I don't think these sheet metal doors are retaining their value, but maybe in the long term it works out very nicely in the future. So, yeah. Right then, so I will now hop over to here, and I will reiterate, earlier we did talk about what we could potentially expect tomorrow. So if we just quickly hop over to here, this is the most recent workshop skin checks. I obviously made a video just yesterday. Please consider giving this a good look. All the skins here, if they were to be accepted, would be early picks. And we did see 2 early picks this past Rust store. Now, if you want to get a very good look at what potentially has the best chances in being accepted, you want to look at TGG's most recent top picks list, which is located right here. And like we've already mentioned earlier, maybe ghillie suit, hoodie and pants potentially is accepted this week. Or maybe spray can tier 2. Or maybe a brand new collection. Madness tier 3, for example, very much could potentially be a budget blackout set that probably could potentially take away all the attention and thunder from the likes of the Pirate Collection. So, just a potentially, a potential thing. Maybe a hot dog. Maybe Constellations, maybe El Diablo, maybe we start off a brand new storage collection, maybe we get a very cool looking furnace, or a very cool looking locker, or a minted gold rug. Do you want to turn your entire base into gold? Well, minted gold rug could be for you, yes. You could cover your entire base in gold, shiny, shiny gold. Yep, plenty of potential things, hamster door, who knows what potentially could be accepted tomorrow. I hope to God. So yeah, Chameleon MP5, wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a charcoal skin again. Maybe one of these random skins. Maybe not that, because that was already accepted. Banana bolt action rifle, a burrito launcher, Firestorm AK-47 genuinely actually looks really cool. I actually would vouch for that. So Circu and Himic again. So yeah, who knows? But just make sure that you're constantly keeping an eye on the likes of the accepted section, because for the past 2 weeks we have seen early acceptances. 2 weeks ago it happened on the day, like almost 12 hours earlier than normal, and then last week we actually received or noticed the acceptance like a day before. So we haven't noticed it yet. Maybe things are perfectly fine now. All good. When are normal skins? Remember, the regular skins become marketable when the next Rust store appears, Mr. Warhead, and now you know. And you do have to question, are you going to jump in and buy some banana tier 2 armor? Because with the amount of sales that we've had, it just feels like it's too low. And I just get the feeling in the grand scheme of things, in the long term, things are probably going to work out somewhat okay for it. We don't have any other yellow armor like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have even more banana stuff. So, hey, it's up to you. It's for you to decide. It's for you to figure out. The choice is yours. And with that, will you jump in and buy some Sand Rhino, or are you going to stick with a buy order? We shall see. Essentially, everything's covered. Also, Mr. Rock. We like Mr. Rock. Give him a good pet. Yeah. Maybe we might see Mr. Rock being accepted in a future Rust. He's perfect. Come on now. With all the silly animal skins that we've had, what better than a pet Rock? All right? Don't you want to just hold him and caress him and go and find adventures with him? Explore the world with him? Come on now. Come on. You love Mr. Rock as well. I know you do. All right? Okay, so Rust skins, it's still going to be very awkward from here and now, but it is expected. Player count isn't exactly doing super great, but it's expected. It's routine, happens every single year. So yeah, September's probably not going to be very fun. October, where we do have Halloween, and we also have Charitable Rust, so at least we got that to look forward to. And then gradually, little by little, bit by bit, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. And that's when the fun begins. So, with that, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you very much for watching me, chat. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the subscriptions. The subscriptions today. I've been talking non-stop for like 5 hours. God help me. All right, catch you all later. See you, goodbye. I don't expect an early Rust store tomorrow, but then again, I didn't really expect one like 2 weeks ago, and that still happened. So, who knows? Like I said, just keep an eye on this, and yeah, cool. So, catch you later. See you, goodbye.